So as makers, I think we're all guilty of this. Did you see that? Watch it again. Using your push stick to make a very thin strip of wood on a table saw, and you keep chipping away at that push stick until it becomes a sliver of nothing. Now, the thinner that gets, it becomes increasingly more dangerous, and that's why we've come up with this. We call it the skinny rip. I want to thank a viewer for giving me the name Skinny Rip. That's what we're calling it. I'm going to tell you how to get yours for free. Kind of. There's a caveat. Let's go. Hello everyone, my name is Chris. Welcome to A Glimpse Inside. And before we get started on this, I got an announcement. Check it out. And said big announcement is Glimpse bits are back in stock. The 1/8 of an inch compression and the 1/4 of an inch compression are here in my shop. And again, they're in limited quantities. The manufacturer is making and coating these as we go because we didn't really know if they were going to take off. But when I launched that video, this thumbnail here, we sold, I want to say, I can't really remember the number, it was around 50 bits as a trial run, and they all sold out within a matter of 3 or 4 hours. It was pretty incredible. So they are the best bits I've ever used. They have helped me sustain and run this business, the CNC business, and I am so proud of these things. I believe they last the longest, and I rarely ever, if at all, have seen them break, unless it was my fault, like running into a screw or something like that. But honestly, I'm so super proud of these, and Southeast Tool and I have teamed up together to launch these, and here's the second run. So they're available in the description. Before you go down there, watch the rest of this video, okay? They're great bits, and I hope you guys are able to use these in your shops. All right, moving on. They come in all shapes and sizes, and we offer this one right here. It is the Maker push stick. It's got a handle here. As you can see, it spells the word Maker, but the R is actually the backstop to help you push material through. Now, there's an interesting trick about this I'm not sure if you know about, and I'm gonna explain it here. So as you use a push stick over and over, if you have to make these thin strips, you are gonna cut into it from time to time. And eventually it gets so thin that I believe it becomes a little bit dangerous. So these push sticks actually have a special built-in feature. It's not a new feature, but it is here, and you may not recognize it if you see it right on. The R is exactly 90 degrees to the base. So take your trusty crosscut sled. Like I said, that 90-degree angle comes in handy. If you don't want proof, there's a fancy red tool to give you some affirmation. And then go ahead and cut off the used portion. You want to raise that blade up a little bit so that way you can leave the, well, I call it the backstop to kind of push material through. But that's a little bit too protruding, so you can actually just trim that up as well. Now, let's say you've eaten through so much of this that you want to just start brand new again. Here's the example of how you do that. Basically, you trim it off completely flat. Now, that's no good as a push stick, but the reason the separation is there from the R from the make is that when you make a pass, if you just stop short, you now get that differentiation you need to make yourself available to push material through. Check it out. Pretty awesome feature. So yes, that feature is there and it's handy, but you may not ever have to use it again because introducing the Skinny Rip thin push stick for thin material. Check out how this works. Say you're cutting down a 1/4 inch strip, which is pretty precarious that close to the blade, but because this is made from domestic high quality maple plywood or oak plywood, it is running just a little bit under that 1/4 inch mark, giving you nice leeway to go ahead and make these cuts. Now, anything thinner than this, you want to do it on the other side of the blade, but I'm confident with this thing, you're going to have plenty of control and plenty of stability. There you go. And just like I said earlier in this video, I want to thank a viewer for coming up with that name. Pretty cool stuff. Now, you don't have to eat into your favorite push sticks, right? That's the idea. Now, a favorite push stick? I mean, really, is there really such a thing? Yeah, let me show you some examples. I'm going to show you a couple of 3 makers that make their own, and I don't use them, okay? This is Drew Fisher. You'd rather serve cheese on it than cut wood with it. It's crazy. It is pretty awesome. I love it. It just gets displayed in the shop, and I would never use this thing. Another example, well, I know it's meant to be used, Bob, I know, but this push stick you've come up with, which is actually a really nice design, has an extra piece of with HDPE, I believe, Forgive me if I'm wrong there. Bob or Josh, why don't you let me know what it is? But this, I would never use this either, because I just, you know, I've been a fanboy of some of these YouTube channels for a long time, even though I'm on the space now and making a living at it. But I'm still an observer more so than a creator, I feel, and I just will never use it, but it's awesome. And, oh man, the Godfather, sorry, Jimmy. This 2016 maybe, he was releasing these 2017. This is a piece of, like, I don't know what this is. It's almost like a really hard, rigid foam. Of course, it's got the iconic DiResta logo in there, a couple of holes to push through. I'll never use this one as well because it's just freaking cool. Now, these are cool, okay? I would never use them because I think they're commemorative, but I will say this. The most important push stick that I actually own is this, and I use it all the time. This is one of the earlier ones I made. I actually tried to laser in a wood grain, or I don't know what I was doing, but my daughter drew this, kind of colored on it for me, and I use it all the time. I think really sentimental things, instead of just being up on a wall or something like that, like these, but they really mean something to you. I think you should use them. I really do. And that's why these little skinny rips were invented. And that's why I thought of this, because I didn't want to ever etch into this, and now this is the option. So, yeah. Earlier in the video, I said you could get these for free, but there was a caveat, and that caveat is this. A few months ago, I actually sent these out for free to anyone who ordered anything from my shop. Now, basically what happened was I got some good feedback, people saying I didn't really know I needed this, but I do, because I use it quite a bit now. So here's how we're gonna give these away. I mean, you gotta buy a push stick. Now, I keep these pretty reasonable. Sometimes the reason you don't wanna chop into your own favorite push stick is that maybe you paid 35, 40, 50 bucks for it. I don't know. These are still gonna be $15. I owe you an apology. $15 is not what they've been selling for. I can't sell these both for $15. There's just no way. They're 12 bucks. They've been 12 bucks on the site since the inception, and that's where they're gonna stay. And don't forget, each one of these push sticks, well, they're gonna come with a little buddy, the skinny rip, right? So I really think that this may last forever because you don't have to cut into it, because you got this thing. That's the whole idea. So everything's gonna be down below. From here on out, these push sticks will come together as a pair no matter what, okay? That's how it's gonna work. Check the site, aglimpseinside.org, and again, Glimpse Bits are back. Okay, again, another limited run. Gotten some good feedback so far, and again, they're the best bits I've ever used. And like I said, I think I've cut out 30-something thousand pieces on the CNC with 3/4 inch Baltic birch plywood. Pretty crazy stuff, and they have done great. All right, that's all I got to say. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you get some value in this, and I will see you on that next video. Take care.